Trigger warning: depression, abortion, addiction, guilt. AITA for avoiding my son when he wanted to spend time with me. I love my son Avram, but I did not want to be a mom and was denied an abortion. I love him so much, but I've never deserved him. I was a terrible mom. I know it was bad, untreated depression, but that doesn't excuse anything. His dad and stepmom took him when he was 10, and they loved him so much and made him the most amazing young man in the world. And I'm so grateful. After they took him, I got therapy treatment and then spent time in the hospital for my drinking. Avram kept wanting to see me. His dad let me have weekends, and I tried to make the best of it and be a good mom this time. He'd always tell me I didn't need to apologize because I was sick, and he loved living with me. Since he turned 18, he's spent more time with me, and I know I don't deserve it, and his stepmom does, but I don't do anything because it makes him happy. This past Friday, his stepmom was hosting a work dinner and wanted all her kids there, but Avram wanted to spend Friday with me because we always do that. She's more his mom than me, so I knew he should be there for her. But he wouldn't listen and insisted on being with me, so I pretended I wasn't home that day and ghosted him so he'd go, and I saw what he did on his girlfriend's Instagram story. But you can see who sees stories, and she did and messaged me that I was selfish for ghosting, and I really upset him. She essentially called me an arsehole without saying it. He hasn't messaged me much since then either. I don't think I'm wrong. I'm trying to do what's best for him, and that's showing gratitude to the woman who deserves his love. But I thought to try for judgment here. Comments: Risarkanamia. YTA. This is going to be harsh. Don't read if you can't take it. He is 21. He deserves to choose how and with whom he is spending his time. You denying your presence when he needs it is just you doing the same thing you did before. Your excuses of I don't deserve him, his stepmother should be his priority since she's like his real mom, etc. are just that, your excuses and your feelings, not his. Now is the time for you to make amends. Don't let your guilt deprive him of you even further. Apologize and tell him you feel like you don't deserve him, but you'll stop being a coward and will always be there for him from now on. Make amends the way he wants you to, not the way you think you should. That's the best way you can own up to your past and get forgiveness from both him and yourself. OP. I don't mean to let my guilt deprive him of anything, and I don't mean to be a coward, but I know that I am. He's the most amazing boy a mother could ask for, but it's true that I don't deserve him. That isn't an excuse because I did everything wrong by him. OK Screen 8739. YTA ghosting your kid isn't cool. At least give him the respect of being honest. Could you not have spoken to the stepmom about attending as well? OP. She would not want me there. Ethnorian 1. YTA. You're very well-intentioned, but he's an adult, and you're essentially trying to make decisions for him. You think you know what's best for him. You can share what you think, but you have to respect his decisions. It might be time for another round of therapy. The way you talk about your son absolutely screams unresolved issues, and it sounds like you could use some help navigating your relationship with him now that he's an adult. Your heart seems like it's in the right place. I wish you luck. OP. I still go to therapy because my issues will never be resolved, and I've asked him to go with me. But because of his school schedule and other stuff, he's never been able to. Self-righteous Sash. I'm not going to call you an arsehole because you probably do that to yourself more than you'll need to hear on here. Harsh words, I'm sorry. That being said, would it be fair to let your son decide how he spends his time? To ghost him because you feel you don't deserve the time he spends with you is kind of putting yourself back into depression. As someone who has struggled with depression in the past, I 100% understand how you feel, but that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Your son is an adult now. He told you that he doesn't resent you and actually wants to spend time with you. He wants to get to know you. He wants to be with you without anyone telling him that he should. Let him make his own decisions without letting that evil voice of depression and guilt from the past decide your relationship with him for you. OP. I don't want to fall back into depression, and I guess he doesn't want me to either. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Getting a hug from him is the greatest part of my week. I know I don't deserve such a good boy, but I'll try and trust him more on how to handle things. Update. After my post, I realized how wrong I was, and I called Avram, and thankfully he picked up and came over. The first thing he did before I could even talk was give me such a big hug. It almost made me cry, but I held back my tears. I talked to him about his stepmother's event, why I felt he should go, and why I felt I didn't deserve him. I told him about the things that I did when he lived with me as a kid and why I felt I didn't deserve his forgiveness. I guess what really shocked me was that Avram pointed out to me that he didn't see his time with me as bad and that he mostly had happy memory, and all the bad times were just because I was sick, and that wasn't my fault. And it's not things I forgot, I guess, just things that I never valued and, I guess, never really considered. Small things like how I'd take him shopping to Zellers on Sundays and always let him buy a toy. How I'd always get a special message printed on his birthday cakes. How I'd always let him sleep hugging me, even though he was 10 by the time his dad took. How I'd miss work to stay with him if he got sick. The big thing he told me that made me cry was that when he was 9, kids bullied him when they found out we're ethnically Jewish, and made him cry so bad he left school before the Easter egg celebration, so I organized an Easter egg hunt just for him in the park. It wasn't just that. He told me so much more that I did that he valued that if I wrote it here, I think I'd break the word limit. It's so hard to hold on to the happy memories when I think about how terrible I was and how much I yelled at him, drank, or smoked, but if he can do it, then I can do it for him. And I've been trying. I've let him take full control of our relationship, and I think it's been for the best. I've been seeing him much more often, and during Mother's Day, he and his girlfriend took me out to dinner and gave me so many boxes of chocolates. I've only been eating them when they come over so we can have them together. Even therapy has been going better since I did convince him to attend some sessions with me. And I think he's understanding not only what I went through when I got pregnant, but also how much respect I have for his stepmother. Plus, his girlfriend has started going to the gym with me. I love my son so much. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. He is everything that was ever good about me, and thankfully, he has nothing that is bad about me. Maybe in another world where I didn't end up so damaged, I would have turned out just like him. He makes me so proud and so happy. I will try to never hurt him again and never be so selfish again. So thank you to everyone who convinced me to apologize, and to all the other mothers out there, please hug your sons tonight if you can, no matter how old they are. Comments, 60 inches shy. I love updates like this, but someone's cutting onions at my desk, and I'm going to catch some weird looks from coworkers soon. I'm so happy for you, OP. I know from experience that forgiving yourself is often way harder than forgiving everyone else, especially after struggling with addiction, but it is worth the fight to do so. I'm glad you're mending that relationship. Now I need a tissue. OP, thank you. I guess it is because I feel I don't deserve to be forgiven, but if my son can do it, then so can I. I did beat my addiction to him, so I know I can do this. Our Cockroach 1662. NGL, I'm ugly crying at my work desk right now. Good on you for taking advice and talking it out with him. I'm so glad he showed you the mom he sees you as. Look at you through his eyes, mama. I'll give you a saying my father always told me. There is no such thing as a perfect parent. You did the best with the tools you have. And that sounds accurate in your situation as well. Remember, you did the best you could with the tools you had. And obviously, you did a great job. Look at how deeply your son loves you and wants to be around you. If you were half as bad as a mom as you think you are, he wouldn't want to be around you as much as he is. We are our own worst critics. OP, you're right, since by letting him take charge of things, I think that I can sit in his shoes, kind of like how he goes to therapy with me and lets him sit in mine. A boy will always love his mom, but this past little bit has been surprising me by showing me just how much. I would do anything for my perfect boy. Affectionate Fee 437. OMG, your son is a wonderful angel, and you are wonderful too. Most parents aren't this self-aware and gracious. You have grown, and you may have had lapses due to illness, but you are a good mother, and you are a good person. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.